Welcome to WRTR Real Talk Radio. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the hosts and guests.
And do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organizations or institutions. This podcast is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered legal, financial, or professional advice.
While we strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, we make no representations or warranties of any kind, express or implied, about the completeness, accuracy, reliability, or availability with respect to the podcast or the information, products, services, or related graphics contained in the podcast.
Any reliance you place on such information is strictly at your own risk. In no event will we be liable for any loss or damage, including, without limitation, indirect or consequential loss or damage, or any loss or damage whatsoever arising from loss of data or profits arising out of or in connection with the use of this podcast.
By listening to WRTR Real Talk Radio, you acknowledge that you understand this disclaimer and agree to its terms. Enjoy the show.
WRTR Real Talk Radio. Featured guest DJs, original shows, music news, the hottest DJs from around the world.
Well, girl, you can't fly nowhere, but, feel free to be as high as you want as you join us again here for another week on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Thank y'all for joining us again. Whew.
And I am so mad about it because I really, really want to go to Japan.
Do you?
I really do. It's like one of my dream vacations for myself. I really want to go.
I thought about it, but you know what? I have this recurring dream of where I am trying to talk to people and I'm panicked for whatever reason. I'm trying to talk to people and nobody can understand me. And I feel like that would happen in Japan. So, I don't know.
No, surprisingly. So I've been doing my research.
Okay.
And a lot of Black folks is going to Japan.
Well, hell yeah. Have you looked at
And I'm noticing that there is a lot more English-speaking people over there than I thought originally. And if it's not like there's different apps and stuff that you can use to communicate, like it's not that bad.
Huh. Okay.
I'm not going by myself either, so it's gonna have to be a thing where I'm with somebody else and we figure that shit out. But I definitely want to go. That's one of my bucket lists.
That's on your bucket list?
It definitely is.
You know what? I've knocked out most of my bucket list in my 20s and 30s, because I jumped out of a plane. I think y'all have seen that video online. I mean, it was. And you know what? Actually, my sister and I just had this conversation recently in front of Mom. Heart problems. Let's talk about doing dangerous stuff. Yeah, not wise. But anyways, she talked about how she wants to bungee jump.
We don't take nothing serious.
Listen, but here's the thing. I was like, I don't want to, I would have never bungee jumped. I jumped out of a plane, but I would never bungee jump because there's too many things that could go wrong with the bungee jump. Think about it. Like on a bungee jump, the cord could snap, but like during the recoil, it could fuck your back up. It could fuck any number of your bone the results, the things that could happen are endless. But if you jump out of a plane and your parachute don't open, best case scenario, you don't make a big splat, but you gonna die. So I knew that when I got into the plane, that was a risk that I took. So that I'm willing to do, but not to live my life all fucked up. I'm like, somebody got to wipe my ass. Now I'm a problem for people, all because my dumb ass decided to jump out of a plane. You know what I'm saying?
You could be in one of their wheelchairs.
That's what I'm saying. And now Trump done made it to where you can't even get no job if you got a wheelchair. Like, oh no,
I can't.
Just all of the things that could go bad. How you feeling this week, Mama? You looking good.
Thank you. I am feeling sore.
How are you?
I started back, I should say, because COVID fucked up a lot of shit, and I was getting a little slim thick with my cute ass, going to Planet Fitness every day, and then COVID said, "Oh no, girl, sit your black ass down." So I ended up canceling my membership and haven't been back since, and it's been years. So I said, I guess I should care about my health, since we're getting older, not younger, and the body is starting to deteriorate. And I was told I have a little bit of arthritis in my motherfucking back. Excuse me.
No.
Are you fucking kidding me? Along with all the rest of the shit I got going on, I don't need that. So I said, you know what? So
Uncle Arthur, no.
and go and get you the gym membership again and start going. So I did start Monday, and my body is weary.
I hear you.
So,
well,
but I feel better. Good.
Oh, okay.
Good, though.
All right. Well, good. I'm gonna get you some of that, like that little green rub that comes in that tube. That
Tiger Balm.
There you go. That's what it's called. I'm gonna get you that Tiger Balm. I'll be like, hey, girl, love you.
Oh no.
Yep. All right, my mood. I'm trying to stay in a positive mood. I am in a decent mood for now. I just woke up in a good mood.
Good.
News fatigue. Yep. Thank you. News fatigue. I am so tired of my phone blowing up with headlines every time. Like, your president don't know how to do anything legal, so literally everything is a headline because everything that he's doing is illegal at some point in time during the day.
As fuck. Mm-hmm.
So, little news fatigue, but otherwise I'm good. I got some socks. You see my socks? Look.
Oh, they're so cute.
Little Pokemon socks. Got little Pokeball socks. So, just doing little things. Take care of myself. Be in a good mood. What you want to be like when you grow up, or who?
Okay, so this may be a little bit unconventional, but I'm going to still do it because when I read this story, this particular one really touched my heart. So I want to be like 10-year-old Trey Howard.
Okay, 10-year-old.
Who is Trey Howard? He is a little black boy who is waiting in the car with his younger siblings for his dad to return while picking up donuts. Okay. When the jet that crashed in Philadelphia came crashing down over them.
No.
He acted fast to protect his little sister by covering her. And
when I did read this article.
Returned to the car, he realized there was metal lodged in his son's head from the debris of the crash. A police officer rushed them to the hospital where Trey had emergency brain surgery, and that night his family was told there was a strong chance he might not survive. However, he did. And when he woke up from the surgery, his first question was, "Daddy, did I save my little sister?" And he did. And he is a true hero indeed.
Oh, I did read this article, and I saw in there how his dad was saying that, he is his hero. Mm-hmm. So imagine your dad saying that about you. That's so cute.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
All right. Yes. Not me.
Well, in that same upbeat mood, when I grow up, I want to be like the Trailblazers over at Xavier University. Have you heard about this? All right, so they just made history by becoming the first HBCU to launch a co-ed varsity rowing program.
Wow.
Rowing. Yeah, so this program is set to kick off in fall of 2025 this year, and comes after 3 solid years of their rowing club team with the New Orleans Rowing Club. So it's about creating more opportunities and making sure that everybody has access to this cool sport. And just kind of reminded me of all of these sports like that we don't do, but would probably kick really like a whole lot of ass at. We really would.
Nice.
If you think about it. I mean, we own everything else that we do, so why not? Wow. But their athletic director, Pat Kendrick, is super excited about this new addition. She believes it's going to open doors for students, helping them to grow both in the classroom and on water. So, and you have the support from big names in the rowing world. David Banks, rowing advocate, Arshay Cooper, people that I don't know, but they're definitely pumped up, and they are the right people to know. And for these, for these people to have a positive impact.
That's dope.
So, it is. I thought so. So I guess we'll move on with the show. I got an interesting if it were lyric one, so up next.
Well. I've got some tea to tell, honey. Yes, because I was just over there in the streets of Twatter. Now, sit down. We got to talk. We ain't got time to mess around. I got to tell you everything. I was over there on the streets of Twatter, baby. Just looking to see who was twatting what out into the twattosphere. And I ran across Time Magazine's latest twat, honey. And it is the cover of the next magazine. Yes, baby, the cover. And you're never going to believe who is on Time Magazine's cover. Alonia Muskrat, baby, sitting at Daddy's desk. Yes, Alonia Muskrat, sitting at the Resolute desk, honey. Let me show it to you. Yes, baby. Look at this. Daddy is not going to be happy. Daddy Dumpy Pants is going to turn the White House red tonight with ketchup. You hear me? There is going to be cat soup here, there, and everywhere. There's not enough Heinz on the planet for what's going to go down tonight, honey. Daddy's ego can't handle this, honey. His ego is large, but it is not in charge. You know, his ego is rolling around like a dump truck on a spare tire, honey. And it just ain't gonna fly, honey. Let me tell you something. Do you know that one time, Daddy Dumpy Pants hired a camera crew and made his very own fake covers of Time Magazine with himself on them and then put them up in his properties? Yes, honey, he staged a photo opportunity with Time Magazine. It was all made up. It wasn't even real. And took photos of himself being on the cover of Time Magazine to put up in his properties here, there, and everywhere. This man's ego, honey, it is large but not in charge, honey. It is not in charge at all, baby. Oh my God, a dump truck on spare tires, and it is not gonna roll. Daddy's gonna have somebody's head on a platter before it's over, honey. I smell a lawsuit against Time Magazines or a threat or a tariff or something in the works before Saturday.
Maybe not what you should do, but definitely she would if it were Lyric.
Well, hello. What's going on, you guys? It's your girl, Miss Lyric, and I'm back with my segment, If It Were Lyric, where I discuss all your relationships, situationships, and friendships, and everything else in between. If you guys want to continue to send me your advice, questions, and or concerns, please don't hesitate to email me at lyricbravado@gmail.com. And that is all. Okay? Mm-hmm. No more DMs. No more spicy pictures. None of that. I'm shutting it down. lyricbravado@gmail.com. All right. So let's get to the first one. All right. It says, Dear Lyric, hi, my name is Janice, and I have a real problem. My boyfriend made a video of us having sex without my knowledge, and
illegal.
I feel bad about it.
Jail.
Last night, I found a video on my boyfriend's computer of us having sex. I haven't made one with him, and immediately I thought, this has to be somebody else. So, of course, I confronted him immediately, and he told me it was me, and my heart sank. I watched the video, and I realized that it was the night I woke up, and I didn't know where my clothes were. The video shows how they came off. I went to sleep early because I was really drunk and woke up with him trying to put his in me.
Oh.
He told me I helped him get my clothes off when I asked him about it in the morning, and I was so drunk I believed him. And I probably would have consented to the sex while asleep because honestly I think that's hot. But the video said something different. He actually took my clothes off. I think waking up to someone doing sexual acts should be discussed before you fall asleep. Not every time, but at least once to establish consent. I could really use some advice on how to handle this situation. I've been in the past involved with rape and trauma, and this is a big deal. How can I move past this? I feel like I'm still in shock.
This one's tricky because this is tricky because you don't want to seem like, I guess you don't want to victim blame, but at the same time, you don't want to be like, you don't want to diminish it and be like, girl, you got you drunk and then been in the bathroom, went into the bedroom and then I don't know. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
First of all, make him delete that motherfucking video ASAP and any copies that he may have.
Again,
and let him know that if he pulls some shit like this again, y'all are done. And I'm sorry, but police might have to be involved because that is illegal. You cannot absolutely not film somebody without their consent, especially when it comes to things of this nature. It's illegal. And then it opens the doors to what's that thing that they be saying?
Revenge porn?
Yes, revenge porn. Thank you. That opens that door. So yeah. Absolutely not. It's unacceptable. He definitely had no business doing that with you being drunk and unable to say yay or nay. That is still, by legal means, a rape. It just depends on how you look at it and how you feel about it. And I would go with your gut. If you feel as though this is something that is a deal breaker and that you feel like ick about it and you feel like you're uncomfortable with him now, do what you need to do to get out of that space. Absolutely. However, on the flip side, if you feel like this was just a one-time thing and, you know, he's that type of person where he's open enough to have a conversation and really apologize for his stuff and y'all work it out, that's on you too. It's okay. But whatever you decide, because at the end of the day, this happened to you, not him. He's the one who did the thing. Yes, you got drunk, but being drunk is not a crime. Being drunk and taking advantage of somebody is definitely a crime.
Yep.
So I leave this up to you.
Good advice.
In your heart and in your gut, do that. And if you feel as though, like I said, you need to head on out, hey.
Ain't nothing to cut that bitch off.
It's not. But make sure he deletes that motherfucking video, bitch. Because one thing's for sure, two things for sure. You do not want to be on X.com and all these little overseas porn sites and stuff that, you know, because once it's on there, it's on there.
True. Internet is forever.
So.
Till Elon make it otherwise.
That's my advice to you, girl.
All right. This one says, Dear Lyric. I'm not good with letters, so I'll just give you what I'm dealing with. I'm a black woman, just truly getting back on my feet after a rough divorce and a shitty job market. Now imagine yourself as me. You're working in a bustling office. Okay. The word. In a bustling office at a financial services firm where the atmosphere has become increasingly charged due to the political climate in 2025. As a person of color, of a certain age, as they say, you've been noticing a pattern of microaggressions from some of your melanin-lacking coworkers. Comments like, "You're so articulate for somebody with your background," or jokes about your hair that cross the line from playful to offensive have started to pile up. You've addressed some of these remarks with lighthearted responses, hoping to ease the tension, but it hasn't stopped. Now, recently, during a team lunch, a colleague made a sly remark about how diversity quotas are filling up seats, which left you feeling frustrated and unsupported. You want to maintain a positive work environment, but are unsure how to tackle this issue without escalating tensions or making it awkward for yourself. So I guess my question to you is this. I want to address these issues and stand up for myself, but I also don't want to create an uncomfortable atmosphere in an already uncomfortable atmosphere with my coworkers. If it were you in this situation, how would you handle it? What steps would you take to address these comments while keeping the peace at work? Love y'all. Signed, Not Becky.
Girl, first of all, and I have said this in the past, but not that many people take advantage of their HR department as much as they should. Now, I know some companies have a shitty one. I don't know what company you work for or where you work or if that's a thing for you. Okay. But that always should be the first step. Go to the HR, because regardless if they do anything or not about it, you starting a paper trail.
That does start a paper trail.
Documenting what's been going on.
Yourself.
And the longer that HR doesn't do anything, the more you can go over their head and get them in trouble for it. And lawsuits can happen. Not only that, document for yourself as well. This is why I keep such good receipts. My mother has always told me, regardless if it's from the store or or dealing with people, keep a receipt of your interactions, especially the negative ones. Like if you have to screenshot, like when somebody said this and they're accusing you of something or whatever the case may be, keep a receipt so you can always have something to come back to improve your case.
Okay, I like that.
When I tell you this has worked in my everyday life and even currently with the things that I got going on, yeah, I keep a receipt. I don't care if it's 3 years ago. I keeps a nice receipt.
Yep.
Very detailed.
I like that. I like the advice, and I like the fact that you did say talk to HR, but keep in mind, not Becky, keep in mind, HR is there to protect the company, not there to protect you. So, like Lyric said, do your due diligence of keeping notes yourself. Definitely communicate to them. Let them know that this is an ongoing problem. But as far as like holding, because I think like a lot of us, we kind of put the responsibility in HR's hands when we deal with shit like this. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like, okay, well, HR will deal with it.
They'll
HR will deal with it.
You still have to do your part.
Exactly.
And that's a good point you made about them being there for the company. However, companies don't like lawsuits.
They don't. They don't.
So, therefore, it's still going to work in your favor if you're diligent and keeping your own receipts. Write down who said what to whom, time, dates, everything. Write all of that stuff down. Do not engage, because what typically ends up happening most of the time for people with our skin tone is that they try to flip the script. Now you're the angry black person at work who nobody wants to talk to because you've finally decided to speak up and say how you feel about all the microaggressions that's been going on your way, and now you're labeled. And now you're difficult. And now every time you say something, you have an attitude. And now every time you say something, you're angry. No.
They just did that to Auntie Maxine. Did you see that shit in front of the Department of Education yesterday? They just turned a peaceful protest where they had news crews and everything to where they were there, and they told them people, we are not a threat. Here are our Congress credentials. Here is everything that you need to know. We just need access to the public access part of the building. And they still turned her into, she was harassing this, that, and the third in articles. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Just don't engage. Sometimes saying nothing speaks more for you in certain situations. Not saying a word, but keeping documentation in your mind or on paper or however you want to do it speaks volumes, because when those receipts pile up and you go in to turn in that evidence, then people are going to have to answer for it, whether it's with HR or in their daily life. Karma loves to spin the block. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes people often wonder, damn, how come this is happening to me and this is going on and this, that, and the third? Sometimes it's because of what you say to people.
Hallelujah.
Sometimes it's because of what you have done to people, of why you're going through the things that you're going through. So just keep in mind. That's my advice. I would definitely HR and keep a daily record for yourself. And that's what I would do. Tune in next week to the shenanigans of this segment. And again, lyricbravado@gmail.com if you want to get some advice on your situation, friendship, and everything in between. Bye.
All right. Up next, trolling the timeline. Be right back.
You ever hear about the black man that infiltrated the KKK and he walked away with a membership card? That happened. They made a movie about it. Meet Ron Stallworth. And what he exposed, it still matters today. In 1978, Ron Stallworth was the first black detective in Colorado Springs. But, 1978, racism, they stuck him in the records room. One day he saw a Klan recruitment ad in the paper. And as a joke, he called it, and he pretended to be a white racist. And those idiots fell for it. The KKK invited him to join, but obviously he couldn't show up in person. So he pulled off the greatest con in police history, in my opinion. While he played the voice of Ron Stallworth, his white partner played the face. They tricked the Klan into revealing plans for violent attacks. They confirmed that the Klan had police officers and military in its ranks. He even got close to the KKK Grand Wizard David Duke, who had no idea he was talking to a black man. Fucking idiot. Stallworth didn't just find out about the Klan. He exposed just how far their reach went. Klan members weren't just rural extremists as, they led us to believe. They were police officers, politicians, and military leaders. He learned that local officers were leaking information to the Klan. In his reports, they stopped at least 2 attacks before they could happen. But when it came time to take real action, of course, cover-up plans on the table. The Klan didn't just go away. They took off their hoods and put on badges and suits and political titles. They infiltrated police departments, the courtroom, and the military, of course. They don't need secret meetings anymore because they work inside the system. And Ron Stallworth? He proved it before most people were even willing to admit it happened. Stallworth's investigation should have set off alarms about how deep white supremacy is in America. But instead of dismantling the Klan, the government ignored his findings. Instead of exposing the Klan members in power, they let them keep their jobs. Instead of learning from history, they repeated it. And now we're still dealing with white supremacy in police forces, politics, and the government today. Ron Stallworth pulled back the curtain. What's our next move? Say his name. Ron Stallworth.
Time to troll.
And we're back. Time to troll the timeline. Miss Lyric, ladies first, what you got? What do we care about this week?
Well, what do we have here? It looks like Letitia James sues Trump administration over Elon Musk's access to Americans' private data and wins the court battle. That's my
Yeah.
Who the fuck elected this motherfucker?
Not I. I ain't elected one that's up there.
What ballad was he on? Like, for real. I keep on seeing people in the comments, like, really pissing me off, like, basically trying to act like this is not a big deal. Like, y'all don't understand how huge this is. And not enough people are mad about it, to be honest, in my opinion. What are your thoughts about this?
Like I said, okay. So, like we talked about offline, but with Elon, there's no reason. What is a Doge? What is that? Department of Government Efficiency. What doggy? What the fuck is it? Douche is what it should be called, because this nigga does not okay, you're storming in government offices, taking over and doing nothing. Like this is people's sensitive information. And here's the thing. When we grant that to the government, or when the government assigns it to us, however it works, never is like it's locked up. It's there for a reason. National security, people's personal security. There are conflicting interests. He has access over competitors. With him not being a government employee, with him not signing non-compete agreement, like there's a whole bunch of shit that just breaks the law. And all of this is sort of like what Jasmine Crockett talks about, how she's an attorney, but she can't practice law because she's currently serving under Congress. It's that same thing. Elon should not have financial should not have even read-only access to his competitors' financial information. You shouldn't. Right. It's unethical. It's trash. This whole Doge thing, throw it away.
And it just goes to show that people really do have privilege. First of all, he's not even an American citizen.
Just white.
He's white, and he just happens to be
rich.
One of the world's richest men.
So
the fuck what? That still doesn't give him the authority to do whatever the fuck he want to do.
Amen.
Y'all just fried that. I can't remember his name, but I'll circle back to it if I get it. Y'all just fried the young black guy who was performing doctor stuff on them women and actually was helping them. but didn't have a degree in it. Never went to school for it, but he was practicing medicine without a license. But actually helping the women, actually really helping them.
You talking about the one that posed as? No, this was back in 2018. So I don't know who you talking about. I tried to Google it. I don't see who you talking about. Young black man performing. No, that was a teenager. I don't know. We'll look it up.
I'll look it up. Look it up so we can circle back. But it happened. It's the same thing. Like, no, just because you know certain things or you have the ability to do stuff, no, you still have to do what you need to do to be able to gain access to certain things. And this ain't right. So I am really glad that they have to now destroy everything that they have obtained. Because fuck that. His name, look, I don't care. I do care, but for my point, I don't care which side you voted for. He wasn't on either ballot.
No, he wasn't.
Either one. So
why are we here?
I need to wake up. Y'all really do. Wake the fuck up and see what's going on.
Well,
and stop basing your shit off of him allowing TikTok, because I seen that shit too. Like, come on, yo. Yeah, Trump's a good president because he didn't shut down TikTok. Get the fuck out of my face with that lame ass. Because I don't give a fuck about a TikTok. I give a fuck about whether I'm gonna be able to get social security when I turn 65, because they trying to cancel that shit out. I'm worried about people having resources because now they're trying to cancel out the Department of Education.
I'm worried about going to the 7-Eleven to pick up my morning coffee, swiping my card and finding out that I have a zero balance because somebody from a Doge security leak has gained access to my personal banking information and now I'm fucked. That's what I care about. Yeah, those kinds of things. Just saying.
Fuck up, people.
Speaking of people whose name is trash, did you hear about Nelly getting slammed?
I did. I had me a good little kiki about that.
Okay, headline in Billboard, one of my favorite websites. Headline reads: Janelle Monáe blessed Nelly for Trump inaugural performance at Grammy after party. Listen, so picture this, right? Janelle, the queen of funk and fabulousness. Well, actually, are Janelle's pronouns they, them? Or
I don't think so.
Okay, just making sure. So she recently decided to throw some shade at both Nelly and Donald Trump in a way that only she can. So in a recent interview, she already called out Nelly for performing at Trump's inauguration back in the day. Well, Janelle didn't hold back, saying she felt it was a huge mistake for anyone in the music industry to align with Trump's divisive politics. She's basically saying, come on, Nelly, what are you thinking? So things took an awful turn at one of these industry parties after the Grammys.
Used to like Nelly, but then he went to perform. I don't feel that. You showed out. I used to think you was cool, but now you look like a mother fool. Going to the inauguration to participate with some who don't give a about who you feeling.
I like Nelly. And what did it say? But
she said, she said, I used to like Nelly, but then he went to perform for Donald Trump.
That's what it was. And did you see him in the crowd? You could have bought. He was done. He was looking around him and shit. He was clearly embarrassed, as he should be. Like, how dare you? Like, I know I've spent money, and I think I've said this before.
Yeah.
And for you to be a celebrity, to be celebrated, to be put on a stage of where you are in front of the world. We did that as a community.
But that's not all she said.
I know, but go ahead. Finish.
You gotta say the rest. You gotta say the rest.
Go ahead.
She said, fuck that nigga.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. And then she proceeded to freestyle over his hot and hair beat.
Didn't you see that? Oh, my Lord. Thank you for pulling that, because I completely lost my bookmark on that. But that shit was funny.
then she said, Nelly, you sold out. I used to think he was cool, but now you look like a motherfucking fool.
Ooh.
Fuck you, bitch.
Yep.
Get a new attitude.
Was the best. Black women, the 92%, y'all are letting niggas have it, and I love it because they need to be held accountable. Again, like I said, we put you on these platforms to be able to represent us. For you to then turn your back on the community, literally, to choose money over us, it's your ass now. Fuck you.
Basically.
So, since you did that one, speaking of the Grammys, Beyoncé, Kendrick,
yes,
talk to
ma'am.
me about my two faves. What's going on? Oh, all right, music lovers. 2025 Grammy Awards. I don't know if you saw it, but I definitely did. Well, I watched the clips because at first I refused to actually watch the Grammys because yeah, it's what it is. But niggas online was talking, so I went. According to Prestige Online magazine, they say that it was fierce. They said the spotlight was on Beyoncé, who finally snagged the coveted Album of the Year award for Cowboy Carter.
Yes,
did you see how cute she was when she won the award and how surprised?
That was so
genuine. That was so genuine.
I was crying. She did that.
She did. She was looking at like, am I awake? Did I doze off? Like,
do I get up? Was it me? What happened?
Yeah. I mean,
and then Blue was like, "Oh, come on, Mom! Like they called you. Like go and get your award." I loved it.
It was so cute, and just the fact that she won it after all of this backlash from everybody hating on Cowboy Carter, being shunned by the Country Music Awards. Man, that did my heart a good one, especially in a time like this. But Kendrick Lamar, 5 of them bitches, 5. I saw
for this song.
Oh, 5. Walk.
First of all,
not like us. Woo.
The greatest part of me watching that clip back.
Don't talk about that white girl.
No.
That white. Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
The greatest part of the whole entire clip of him walking to the stage was the entire Grammy audience singing A minor. And I tell you, that shit took me out. I was crying because not you got the Grammy people dressed up, decked out in the baddest ball gowns and all types of shit. All the white people down there singing A minor. Well, Drake got a whole goddamn
Blue was screaming A minor.
Oh my! When I tell you it sent me, and that right there, chef's
It was
perfect.
Everything. Because it's everything that you said on top of you having a goddamn lawsuit out on this song. So fuck you too.
Yep.
Pedophiles 2025 not making it. Trump supporters 2025 not make. All y'all bitches is on the chop block. Fuck y'all. Fuck ass niggas. I can't stand people. All right. Did you see what they were talking about Jaden?
Who?
Jaden Smith. Well, did you just pull a Marcus?
I did.
Why? For Jaden Smith? Why?
Next.
No, why? I want to know. What should be?
I don't like that whole family, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. So it's not Jaden in particular. It's just
all of them. And the bullshit. No. We'll get into that after.
Well, niggas is talking, of course they talking trash because, they're weird. They really, well, not weird in a bad way. They're different. And they do challenge the status quo a lot. They do. Then they do not do the social norms. So he showed up to the red carpet with a house on his head. No, like no Wicked Witch. Like no, like I don't know. The castle. Did you see it?
No, I did not.
All
but
right.
I did see something worse.
What did you see? That could have been worse. This is what he.
What could have been worse?
You see it?
Did you not see Kanye West's wife come out the house butt ass fucking naked?
Oh, I wasn't even talking about that. I'm talking who? That's what I say.
Oh, okay. We both got a who up in here. We're owls in this bitch.
We don't know nobody. We get one of them little who runs.
We live in Whoville around here.
Cindy Lou Who. That's me. Because that one, between that one and then that Who white girl that was sitting there twerking during not like
Saw
that. Did you see
Saw
that?
I did saw that.
That little no ass, she tried to twitch. I'll give it to her.
She was shaking her back. It was all right. You know,
I saw your little spinal cord roll.
The only reason why I ain't gonna say nothing is because one thing I did see is her showing love to all of the artists who won. And it looked genuine.
You know what? Honestly, I'm going to maybe open the idea of smiling in her direction because she did speak out against Trump on that whole creepy cat lady comment and all that. Yeah. And she has been an ally. So you know what? Maybe I won't
cut her a break
today. Because I don't know.
Only today.
I don't know. Something about the whites. Whites. You got anything else? What you got?
I do. Speaking of, I can't think of anything clever, so I'm just gonna say Irv Gotti is dead, y'all.
Oh, Gotti's way.
Yeah, Irv Gotti then went to the upper room. He then had a stroke, and he unfortunately did not survive. And he passed away at the young, because 54 is not old.
No, it's not.
Passed away at 54. I just have to say, Murder Inc., that whole era was such a vibe for me.
You had to be there.
You definitely just had to be there.
Mm-hmm.
When their time of reign was popping, it was popping.
It really was.
Radio play all over, the visuals to the music videos. It was a time.
Yep. Even Ja Rule and his emphysema, hold your hips, your smile, all of that.
It was a time.
It was.
And so I know that him and Ashanti have been, not on the greatest of terms because they used to date and then shit went weird. And, he just kept saying her in interviews and he had a wife and all of this. Fuck all the bullshit aside. Let's talk about the greatness in this man who is able to put these people out there for the masses and create an iconic moment in our culture. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Because what I did not appreciate was 50 Cent. I don't really fuck with that nigga like that.
Who?
Exactly. Because, one thing about it is I don't care what a person has done. I was always raised to don't speak ill of the dead. They're dead. Why are you making jokes about him passing on your Instagram, sir?
Wait, what did he say?
The wrong
Sorry,
way.
I don't follow 50 nor am I on Instagram.
I don't follow him either, but I just saw a post about somebody saying that he said it. So I went to, go fact check and see if he really said some Bama ass shit. And he did. And I was like really disappointed because I know he often speaks his mind and he says things for shock value. But this is one of those things that I didn't think that he would do. So he basically was like, damn, I wanted him around to see my new shows coming out.
Wow.
Who the fuck cares about your shows? That man had kids. That man had family who loved him. And for you to sit there and make a joke about him dying is fucking awful.
Oh yeah, I see the article. According to Yahoo Entertainment, it says 50 Cent has responded to reports of Irv Gotti suffering a stroke with controversial post on Instagram. He poked fun at his condition with a sarcastic post. 50 Cent is no stranger to controversy. See, that's problematic in and of itself. Wow. In his caption, he wrote, "Damn, I wanted him to see my new shows, yo."
See?
Wow. He literally said that. Wow.
Ain't that fucked up? While his children have to see that shit. People often forget, like, these people be having families, and I don't care about your beef, but once a man is gone, he's gone. And his kids have to see that, 50.
Wow.
That was their dad that they're never going to see again. Like, some things I just feel like should be off limits.
I've never seen it for 50 Cent's whole weird face ass, so I mean, it is what it is. We care about anything else? You got something else?
I'm trying to think. Is there something? And did anybody else pass away
this week? Girl, I don't know. You got planes running into one another. You got shit falling up out the sky, landing gear fucking up. Well, I don't know.
I will
say so much.
Rest in peace to the families who lost their lives during both of those tragic events.
All of them. There's been more.
I have been busy, so I haven't seen anything but the one in DC and the one in Philadelphia. But anybody who has passed, who's had family who've passed away in the recent plane incidents, condolences to you and your family.
And shout outs to my friends also that are flight attendants. I know y'all have got to be going through it. I'm not trying to dogpile on you, but my prayers are with you, because that is a hell of a job to have right now. It's literally raining planes, and we got this nigga out here talking about it's DEI's fault. The fuck? All right, so I guess that wraps up our trolling for this week. Up next, unseasoned behavior. Be right back.
Feels as if y'all have just decided that y'all are going to castrate your constitutional duty and hand it over to someone who is unelected. It doesn't matter how many cheerleaders he had on the field campaigning for him. That doesn't mean that he gets to go in and sit atop any of our agencies. And the fact that we had a vote today and we asked to bring him in because we have a constitutional duty, we all took our oath, and maybe some of y'all just don't take it seriously. But I take it seriously when I take an oath to do a job, and my job is to look out and make sure that we don't have any kings or queens in this country. But it seems like y'all have decided that it's going to be Mr. King and his queen, and y'all can pick which one is which.
I'm gonna talk about the Grammys real quick. I might be a little late because I didn't have internet. I was overseas, and what I did not expect is this conversation around the legend Beyoncé. Did we forget? It's motherfucking Beyoncé. I feel like the whole internet needs a whooping right now. Y'all need to be put in timeout. This award was well deserved. Stop pretending like y'all, I can't name one song off the album. I didn't know Beyoncé released an album. Girl. If you're on the internet, you heard Texas Hold'em. Probably the most viral dance of the year. Name one that was more viral. Go play Texas. I don't even have to take it. Stop lying. Okay? Lastly, most importantly, thank God you listening to an album doesn't determine whether or not it gets album of the year. Y'all really done pissed me off, man.
Marcus has your glimpse into a world without seasoning.
All right, so we're back. And in my lifetime, I've met some really stupid people, and I mean dumb lyrics. So depending on where and how you were raised, I really can. I can believe that there are a few that were fooled by, that orange stain in the White House that our black ancestors felt. Anyway. But what I'm seeing discussed much less online are the circumstances that got us here. Everybody's mad. Everybody's, speaking out. Everybody's speaking out against the things that he's doing. But nobody's talking about what actually got us here. Because I can almost guarantee you, if he were a felon of any other variety, he would not have made it to that Oval Office, bitch. Don't get me wrong. That fool has got to go. But what's stopping another person with the same agenda from just picking up from where he left off? It's the buttons that he pushed. That's what it is. Equity, diversity, inclusion. Why did the mention of these words somehow trigger bad decisions at the voting polls for people? Because I refuse to believe that an entire demographic of folks that lived through his first circus heard lower eggs, cut the TV off, and investigate it no further. Like, it didn't happen. What it sounds like to me is that you heard things that you felt like had no impact on your personal set of circumstances, and you simply didn't care. But surprise, surprise, leg cocked fully up into the air, here we sit. Bitch, it does. It affects you. So now we're starting to see all these videos of voters with a regret. And like far too many of them, for me, are blaming it on ignorance. They're like, oh my God, Becky, I didn't know. I mean, I thought Trump was going to lower the prices, and that's why I did. I saw this one video, right? Did you see the video on YouTube of the teacher that was on the news? He was talking about, yeah, I voted for Trump because I thought that he was going to do this, that, and a third. And now he's eliminating the Department of Education. First off, bitch, you are a teacher. You're teaching people. So I would assume that reading is something that you are good at, which you have clearly demonstrated that you're not. And I feel like a lot of this is, I don't know, I'm going off on a tangent. Let me get back to the point that I'm making. You can continue the ruse and look crazy to me and the rest of the internet, or you could sit down with some qualified individuals and start to unpack your own insecurities and figure out how you got there for a lot of them. Too many of y'all love absolving yourselves of any and everything slave related. And I'm talking about white people. And you absolve yourself of the slave related stuff. You won't accept the history of your ancestors. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. There's a lot to say for guilt. But today, in this day, where you are aware and capable, you actually can do something to change the narrative. You could have before. But now, you have to get up. There is no sitting back and waiting for somebody to do it. Because I'll tell you this, black people aren't going to do it for you. We can't do it for you. And I'm seeing all of these videos of white people waking up, and there's whole support groups now of surviving MAGA. Have you seen them support groups?
Yeah, I see them on TikTok. I see them. They have like a joint on Facebook. Yep. I know you ain't on that, so.
No, but I've heard several people have sent me screenshots, and they're like, "Oh my God, look at this, that, and the third." Yep. And it's not fun. It's funny, not funny.
It's funny because hilarious to me, and I'll tell you why when you're finished.
Let it out. Go ahead. I want to hear.
I'm so sorry about it. I'm laughing because we told you. We fucking told you. We begged. We asked. We showed evidence. We gave you every inch of possibility for you to make a better choice. And still, you said, fuck all that. I'm going to vote for this man. He cares. He's gonna do something for me and my community. He let y'all motherfuckers know day one, fuck you and your community. And it's so wild because
he's not doing anything that he didn't say.
On my TikTok that's going around now is the Hispanic people who have decided to vote for him are now asking help from the black community.
Oh my God.
And when I tell you these videos have sent me into a frenzy.
I've seen so many of them.
And you know what? They keep playing this video of that salsa band that performed for him.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And responses. And I can't. When I tell you, That is the funniest thing because we're not. No. You don't get to circle back. What you should have did what we said. We gave you every bit of information that you needed to make a better decision. He said he's going to send you and your abuela back to Mexico, even if you've never been. He's going to make sure that he sends you and your family back.
Your tios, your tias, all of them.
Paying taxes. He don't give a motherfucker. I just read an article about this man who has been putting his daughter through nursing school. ICE came to his house looking for somebody totally fucking different. Wow. He wasn't able to provide his documents and they snatched his ass up. And now his daughter is asking help from the public to help, get her dad some help. These are things that we've said over and over again throughout the entire election, that this is going to happen. This man is not playing when he said he's going to do all of this stuff. We told y'all Project 2025 was a thing. We told y'all that this is where you could read it. He's lying about even not knowing what it was about. He, in fact, wrote some things on it.
He did.
And we provided that information too. Y'all still looked all past that bullshit and said, no, Trump is our friend. And bitch, he showed you what type of friend he was. So don't come looking for the black community to come save y'all. Because first of all, we're not going to put on our capes 24/7 for people who refuse to listen to us.
Oh, I almost choked. That accent almost took me out. Woo.
I'm so sorry. But I'm not, because this is what you have to deal with. Now you can feel like a nigga like the rest of us.
I mean, and we are used to nigging. So at this point, that's why you don't see the response that you thought that you would get from black people, because black people, nothing has really changed that much yet for us. I mean, white people are just feeling more emboldened to call us niggas now. I mean, it don't mean that they don't get their ass whooped any less. They jump out there. The only thing different
is him trying to tear down everything that this country has set forth. And it's not just for black people, it's for, all of the minorities,
I agree.
And that's just another slap in the face. So, I mean, y'all just need to wake up, do your research, and stop depending on these trolls on the internet and their little fake ass information that they keep on posting to get y'all to believe in the bullshit. Do the research for yourself. There's too much knowledge out there for y'all to remain ignorant.
I'll tell you what, I'll give y'all this as I close this segment off, but I will give you this. Go to YouTube and look up Maxine Waters yesterday at we're recording on, February 8th? Yeah, Saturday, February 8th. Go and look at the protests that took place yesterday. Just look up the whole protest, not the news version. Look up what people were videoing on YouTube of the protest yesterday at the Department of Education, and then go to outlets like Fox News, then go to outlets like what was that article that I sent you? No, it wasn't you that I sent yesterday. I sent it to my sister. Daily Mail. And the headline on Daily Mail reads, "Mob of Democrats harasses lone government worker, blocking them from the education department building." Like, when you see things like that versus what you actually see, and I talked about it last segment, but just go and look for yourself. That's what we mean by research. I don't mean crack open a history book. When we say do your research, we mean look at unedited, look at stuff that is outside of a news platform. And I'm talking all of them. Outside of MSNBC, outside of CNN, outside of Fox.
Right.
Look at the actual footage of what happened. See what is being done for yourself, and then compare it to the headlines that you read. That is doing your research. And I think that you will notice a very significant difference for a lot of you. You really will. And I mean, that's just it. That's all. And it's very simple. Y'all can ultimately pass this baggage off on whatever emotions, guilt, whatever it is that you have, on down for generations more. to deal with, or you can stop it here today. Starts with you. Up next, second half of the show. We'll be right back.
Y'all want to know why they hate that we celebrate Black History Month? It's because Black history is a constant reminder that their ancestors were the bad guys. All Black history is us overcoming the obstacles that their ancestors put in front of us. Imagine if they had a White History Month, right? What role would we play in White History Month other than we were the ones to help y'all achieve the things that y'all achieved? There's no part of white history where we would be the ones that held white people back from doing anything. But all Black History Month is white people put all of these barriers in front of Black people and we overcame them. We achieved all of this greatness despite being the ones that were being abused and mistreated. And who were doing the abusing and the mistreatment? White people. So they don't like the fact that, you know, us celebrating our history is just a reminder that, you know, dang, they was the bad. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. Everybody wants to be the good guy. So if you was wondering like, dang, why they just won't let us have our own thing? Because that's why. It makes them look bad. Everything about Black history makes white people look bad because of what they did to us. If they would have treated us equally and fairly, it would just be history. It wouldn't be Black history, but we had to achieve our own greatness on our own because of how they treated us.
Take us to work. Take us on the go. Take us wherever you go. WRTR, Real Talk Radio.
Alrighty, Miss Lyric, we're inside the second half of the show here on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Phew. We got a letter from Tyson out of Georgia.
Hey.
Tyson says, Dear y'all, I love that. Dear y'all, in an industry increasingly driven by commercial successes and mass appeal, how do the existence and influence of industry plans challenge the authenticity of artistic expression in hip-hop? And what does this reveal about the relationship between artistry and marketing in the modern music landscape? First off, Tyson, the vernacular, on point. He says, honestly, for example, in my opinion, one artist who could be perceived as an industry plant in the hip-hop genre is Lil Nas X. His rise of fame, particularly with Old Town Road, it gave him significant industry support, including strategic collaborations and marketing efforts. They said some may argue that his unique blend of country and hip-hop, along with his, exploration of identity, showcases artistry. Others say it could push an agenda and possibly be an industry plant. With that being said, in your opinions, who do you think in the industry could be an industry plant over someone who is actually an authentic artist?
Let's say it together. Sexy Red. Come on now.
It's not rocket science. She is everything that, in my opinion, people want to believe bad about Black women. She's over-sexualized. She's corny. She's made to look incredibly, not disrespect her. She's made to look like she ain't got a high reading level. What? Why are you looking at me like that?
She disrespecting herself, honey. Because first of all, and I'm not saying that's a green light to disrespect her, but stop disrespecting yourself and stop pushing this agenda to think that being a whore is okay. Regardless if you intended to be a role model or not, you are in the public eye, and the younger generation watches everything that these celebrities do, and they look up to it, regardless if, like I said, a lot of people say, well, you need to be a parent, and that part is true. However, people also forget that this is the age of technology, and kids have a lot more access to what I even had access to when I was a kid. Keep that in mind when you decide to post on an app that allows 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds on there to create accounts, to bust your shit wide open and shake what God gave you in fucking thongs and all of that shit. Like, and then selling products named
I'm
after STDs. Like, come
literally,
on, like, take some accountability of the decisions that you make as an artist.
I'm sitting here, I'm looking at her website right now, and all of this just seems very commercial. You can tell that she got some white people behind her as far as her promo and stuff, because I mean, even on her, it says, "Bae, you are $150 away from free shipping. Continue to shopping." I think it said something about what's your email and all, like, just shit like that. It's just very industry planty to me. And did you see the song that she just did with Bruno Mars? Thick,
no,
juicy, and wet. We've got to talk about that at some point. This is bad. Well, okay.
I'll watch it. Maybe not today. Right.
So, Tyson, there you go. Sexy Red. That is who we believe to be an industry plant, because you can't tell me that anybody with above a 5th grade reading level would believe that Sexy Red has any kind of marketability and would be anything that stood out in an industry full of talented people. The girl, I mean, it could be one of those like Kaya things. Maybe she's the Kaya of this generation, you know, because Kaya was like my neck, my back, my pussy, and my crap. And nobody was really saying that then, though.
No, Kaya was a one-hit wonder, respectfully. Okay. Respectfully. I'm not saying anything wrong with that.
No, not at all.
If that's what happens to me, then hey, at least I got my one hit. I'm not worried about it.
Work.
I'm saying that for a reason. Y'all are asking this girl who makes this type of content and music to visit schools to perform for these impressionable young ladies. That is plant, period. There's nothing in me as a parent that would allow my child to attend anything Sexy Red at her school. In fact, I'm going the fuck up there, and somebody gonna have to see these hands and feet for even allowing the foolishness.
Drag her.
Cause what the fuck is whose thought? Whose thought was that? To think that was a good idea.
White people. That's what it was. It was white people.
Like, come on. I can't.
That was a fun question, though, because I do be thinking about industry plants. Lil Nas X, I don't think he's an industry plant. I honestly think he's a little butch queen that is trying to make it. Because, I mean, Lil Nas X, he be trolling, like, for real. And always has trolled. I think at some point in time, he was a barb, wasn't he?
I will say this. Since all of that devil shoe shit went down, we haven't really heard much from him. He's toned down a lot to me.
Yeah, and you know what? He probably, in my opinion, he's grown up a little bit and is less. You know, I think it's coming a little bit beyond the shock value of you know that he had at first, because he was let's be honest, he was one of the only mainstream, if not the only mainstream dude kissing other dudes in his music videos. Well, at the time. Openly. Though. Yes.
You should say that, because there's a lot of mainstream ones. We know about y'all. We just ain't gonna put y'all business out there, but there's a lot of y'all. I know.
Hey, no.
A lot of your babes. It's still in the closet.
All right, my fault.
You know, till you figure out that you finally want to come out, but
we see.
Yeah,
it's okay.
We got the tea.
No, but I understand if you don't come out, because goddamn, you can't even exist. Trump may sign an executive order to where you don't exist tomorrow. What the fuck?
I feel like there's gonna be a time where you're gonna see an influx of that. People just coming out of the woodworks, and a lot of people are gonna be shocked. Not me, because I've been heard like the industry stories and this, that, and I won't be. I will be the least shocked. A lot of y'all faves that y'all think is away, it's not what y'all think. Y'all gonna be shocked, mouth open, gagged.
But while you're shocked, just remember, these are people, and sexuality should not take away from anything else other than your opportunity if you are not what they're looking for. Oops. Waffles.
Kanye West is out here tweeting free Puff and saying that he's going to keep working on a project that they were working on before Diddy got locked up. And to that I say, put him in a jail with him. Lock him up with him. Please, hear me out. They could sit in the day room together and make beats and fight for commissary together, just like the good old days. Put him in there with him. Because at the very least, we've all seen the video of Cassie. So even if everything were not true, which we all know is not true, you at least saw the video of what he did to that lady. And even if he did that once a year for all the times they were together, there is not enough jail time that man should have to serve for what he did. So since we can't grant him his wish of Puff being freed, I say we do the best that we can. Put him in there with him. Let him share a cell. Hell, who cares? You know what I'm saying? They can get that project done in no time. No time. And keep him in there until Puffy is freed. Okay? They need to stay in there together.
Why do you have roaches?
The Why File.
Why do my children hate me?
On WRTR Real Talk Radio.
Why did my vagina burn?
The truth is out there.
Explaining the unexplained. We're answering why to the questions you want to know by taking your skeets at WRTR Radio on Blue Sky. We take your emails at WRTRradio@gmail.com. And yeah, that's all at this point, because this is the Y-Files. Remember, the truth is out there. Miss Lyric, what do you have for us this week?
Why the fuck did they decide to name these things skeets? Who came up with that?
I think it's a play on the fact that it went from tweets. Of course, you know, all the Twitter refugees have gone over to Blue Sky. So now it's Blue Sky and Skeet. You know, it's just there. It's cute. I like it.
I think it needs to be changed just for, you know, the usage of minors. A minor.
Well, I honestly haven't seen a whole lot. It's extremely political over on Blue Sky. Well, I mean, it's not exclusively adults, but from my interactions, I see very few children on here, or, you know, underage people on here, because it's a lot of political stuff on here. Maybe that's just what I'm following, but again, you have all of the people that were pissed off and about Elon then coming over to this new platform. So, of course, you see a lot of political stuff first.
Just something to keep in mind.
My why comes from me this week. I want to know why y'all keep I want to phrase this correctly, but why all of a sudden finger pointing towards the Democrats? I've seen all of these angry videos, all of these angry skeets and talking about, you know, where are the Dems? Why aren't the Dems doing this, that, and the third? Let me explain something to you, baby. And I'm going to hold your hands when I say these things. The Democrats have very little, if any, power at this point. And we collectively made that happen. As a group, as a team, we made that happen. Do you know how we made that happen? We made it happen by our votes, or lack thereof, our cumulative votes. Democrats have no power. The Republicans have the House, they have the Senate, and they have the White House. Do you know what that means? That means that anything that Trump wants to do, he can pretty much push it through without any Democrat help. What we're relying on right now are the very few Republicans that will speak out against his fuckery, but when they speak out, they're speaking out in closed rooms. They're speaking out in personal conversations. They're not speaking out where it matters, where it affects legislation. They're speaking out where it affects like a personal conversation. So they'll speak to Jasmine or Hakeem in a personal conversation and be like, yeah, that's some bullshit. But when it actually comes down to voting, when Trump is standing in front of them, when they're surrounded by their other Republican colleagues, they fold. That is why the Democrats, and you hear very little about them or from them. Now, again, I will encourage those of you that feel this way to head on over to YouTube, head on over to any platform. Follow these niggas on social media. They're doing things, but they're doing things within their control. They're not going to break the law, because then that makes them no different than the January 6th rioters, that they are actively making a case against Trump for freeing. So if they go hog wild out here in these streets, guns ablazing and acting a fool, they're no different than these people that honestly deserve to be still in jail and are not. That is why the time to act is not after the fact. The time to act was back on November 5th when so many of us did not. There was 92% of black women that did. And when I say so many of us, I don't mean us black people, because there were 78% of black men that did. There's still that 8% of black women. There's still that 22% of black men. And the overwhelming majority of the rest that put that nigga in office. So what is it that y'all are expecting these Democrats to do? It's unrealistic. It's unproductive. It's stupid. It's very frustrating that you haven't gotten past that. Ask yourself at this point, what can you do? Because at this point, we have more power as the people of America than any of our elected officials have. Okay. Because this nigga is not upholding the Constitution. And I won't say on a radio platform, especially with the political climate, but I would strongly encourage you all to look up what our rights and responsibilities are as people of America when our leader is not following his oath of the Constitution.
Well, I would say something. The impeachment process is beginning, honey.
The who? Oh, yeah. It is. Oh, well, it's been proposed. But again, they need Republicans in order to make this happen. And you have a lot of Republicans that are saying things and doing other things. We've seen a lot of that in 2025. We saw a lot of that in 2024 at the voting polls. What do you mean? That is what it is. Because the truth is out there, and so are the answers. And that will wrap it up for this week's Wi-Fi. News to make you nauseous. We'll be right back.
This was actually on TV. Can y'all read the headline? Wired, Doge team known online as Big Boss, warned a government expert. Elon Musk finds this very humorous because he said it's actually on TV. Now think about everything they say about DEI, the didn't earn it. This is the rest of their team right here. You feel me? Elon team look like everybody on the front row of a Drake concert. Shit, probably Kendrick Lamar concert too, because you know the main folks that be having the prices to pay on tickets, they be looking like them right here. Everybody is between the age of 21 and 25, and apparently, having a little bit of expertise or a little bit of experience, I should say, in moving Bitcoin, that makes you an expert to be able to run the government, huh? I'm talking about if these folks was black, some black kids, I can't imagine the type of vitriol and gaslighting they would do about them being unqualified on face value. But if a billionaire that got to America by overstaying a visa illegally is able to just pick and choose who he say is a government expert, even though he's not American, ain't from around here, it really speaks volumes to the conservative contradictions. Because how in the hell is you trying to mass deport everybody from around here, even if they here legally? But the billionaire, you feel me? You got his thing so stuck in y'all mouth, y'all can't even get it out. That's the reason why he gotta stay, huh? He running the country.
And now, say what? News to make you nauseous on WRTR Real Talk Radio. Let's go.
So, guys, I forgot to talk about something in the Trolling the Timeline segment.
All right, go for it.
Which was also Chef's Kiss.
Oh, hell.
A historic black church in Washington, D.C. Hey, D.C., hey.
Oh, I don't know if I want to see.
Yes. Now owns the Proud Boys name.
Oh, I did see that. Ah, yes.
Metropolitan African Methodist Episcopal Church can seize any money from the far-right group that makes selling merchandise. So basically, they can't sell shit with that shit on there. Website, non-existent. Merch, cancel it. You're done. You're told. The black church said, absolutely not. Not today, not tomorrow. You won't see it.
Hold up, but did you? Oh shit! This is supposed to be newsmaking doctors, but hold on. Did you see the part, the Trump crest, his family crest? No. You know that little crest that they have?
I don't be paying attention to that type of stuff.
Okay, so the Trump family crest, and shit, this is off the cuff, so y'all got to do your real research on this. But his family crest is actually plagiarized. It was not his original crest. I mean, shocking, not, but still, I thought that was funny. And yeah, these are some of the stories. I'm not either. So, I mean, it is what it is. So, these are some of the stories you might not read about in any of the publications right now that we're not talking about, but it's news to make you nauseous. Yeah, and speaking of bad marketing decisions, say what, Arab America.
Say what?
And a striking turn of events. I'm gonna act shocked lyric, right? And a striking turn of events. An article from the AP News told us about the Arab Americans and Donald Trump, especially in the context of the ongoing violence of Gaza. Now, have you heard of the Arabs for Trump?
No.
So they are a domestic, a domestic group that, of course, during campaign season, were going around openly supporting Trump, talking about all of these things that they believe and they love Donald Trump and they are here, right? Well, now, and a shocking turn of events. So these bitches have changed their name from Arabs for Trump to Arab Americans for Peace, because they don't like what Trump is saying about Gaza. This made me particularly nauseous because, I mean, okay, there's something to be said.
Circle back.
I'm just saying.
No, staying on business.
Yeah, it's something to be said for making the right decision. But the timing is everything, and everything sucks now because you did not time that correctly. So I don't know what else to tell you. I don't. It just is what it is. What you got, Miss Lyric? Anything?
Well, I got a twofer.
Oh, I like twofers. You don't know what I'm into.
Say what? Let's see. Detroit, Michigan / what is this? Cobb County, Georgia.
Say what?
Hey.
So, neighbors. Authorities have charged 41-year-old Brandy Catrice Pierce, with first-degree murder and several related offenses in the death of her 9-year-old son, Zamar King III. Prosecutors allege that Pierce killed King in October 2024, burying his body in a shallow grave behind her rental home in Detroit.
Yikes!
Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy stated that after the murder, Pierce purchased a shovel, bound King's hands and feet, and concealed his body. An autopsy revealed that the child died from neck compression and smothering. Following the incident, Pierce allegedly fled to Georgia with her 3-year-old son. King's remains were discovered on January 6, 2025, when maintenance workers noticed a fucking foot protruding from the ground.
A whole foot.
Prior to the discovery, Pierce had drawn police attention on December 20, 20th, 2024, during an investigation into an unrelated case involving her younger son. The Cobb County Sheriff's Office in Georgia is coordinating with the Detroit police to further investigate King's death.
Wait, so they were there for a completely different case and then saw this foot sticking up out the ground? A foot.
So she moved to Georgia, fled to Georgia with her other son, who's 3.
Okay.
The maintenance people came to, I guess, to do some work on the property because it was a rental house.
Of course.
Probably getting it ready for the next tenant. They go in the backyard, they see a motherfucking foot coming out the ground.
Oh. Wow.
And he was dead. But that's it's sad, but it is a blessing also, because what if his body was never discovered?
Yeah, and she got the other 3-year-old.
She got away with it, and then did the same thing to the 3-year-old.
That's what I'm saying. She got a 3-year-old. Ooh. Y'all are out here living any kind of way. Woo. Yikes. If you want these and more nauseating news stories, hey, follow us over on Blue Sky at WRTR Radio. I'm over there at MarcusSmoot. That's Marcus Smoot.
And I am on Facebook, Snapchat,
yikes,
Instagram, say yikes.
Yikes.
And TikTok at Lurk Bravado.
All righty. Up next, let's talk about the keys to heaven. I sent you a text message earlier in the week. I kind of wanted to elaborate.
Okay.
How you feel? All right.
Let's do it.
Up next.
Hey y'all, it's Congresswoman Presley here. Look, folks are feeling a lot of things right now, emotionally reeling from this new White House, this harmer in chief. So I want to take a moment and discuss exactly what is going on and speak directly to our federal workers and what they're going through. Donald Trump is allowing Elon Musk, an unelected, unaccountable billionaire with no formal role in government, to take a wrecking ball to our federal government and our federal workforce. He's been given access to sensitive, classified information across federal agencies, including folks' private financial data like Social Security checks, Medicare refunds, and tax refunds for folks in our district and all across the country. They are trying to unlawfully and unilaterally close entire federal agencies like USAID and the Department of Education without Congress, despite us being a co-equal branch of government. And they're trying to purge the federal workforce and force dedicated public servants off the job. This is straight out of the Project 2025 playbook. These are dedicated, nonpartisan civil servants with institutional knowledge and expertise that make the government work for you, the people. And if Trump and Musk get their way, millions will see delays in getting a passport renewed, completing FAFSA, receiving tax refunds, or just having someone answer the phone when you call. If you are a federal employee who received Trump's fork in the road memo, proceed with caution. Donald Trump is a crook and a liar. This is not a man who keeps his word to workers on absolutely anything. So talk to your union rep and know your rights. Folks can visit civilservicestrong.org to learn more. Again, that's civilservicestrong.org to learn more. I don't want to sugarcoat this, y'all. We're in a constitutional crisis. It's an unprecedented attack on our democracy. But the good news is we can do something about it. We're going to need to match their energy. At a minimum, Democrats cannot normalize this because this ain't normal, y'all. And we can't continue to conduct business as usual. That means no collaboration with Republicans whatsoever, no votes for Trump nominees, no working with Elon Musk. We need to fight every single day. We must use every tool. We have to litigate, legislate, organize to stop this attack on our democracy and to hold Musk and Trump accountable. So for those watching at home, continue educating each other, sharing resources, building community to fight back. When we fight, we win. But we can only get there together, y'all.
Just when you think it can't get any worse. I saw this on Tizzy Ent's page, and I saw the article, I saw the headline, but I'm like, oh, this can't be real. So I went and looked it up myself. El Salvador's president just offered to detain American citizens in his prisons. Yes, American citizens. So Marco Rubio met with the president of El Salvador, and the president basically said, we'll take deportees from the U.S. of any nationality. We'll even take your violent American criminals. Just send them here. And in return, the U.S. can fund our prison system. Trump kept talking about running this country like a business, but you're outsourcing prisoners? El Salvador's president is running one of the most anti-crime crackdowns in the world, and he wants the U.S. to help bankroll it. His prisons are massive. He's already locked up 2% of his own country. And now he's saying, hey, America, send your criminals too. This is giving real-life dystopia. But of course, I got some questions. Legally, can the U.S. deport its own citizens? And what happens if somebody gets wrongfully convicted and sent there? And do we really trust the U.S. not to abuse this system? I don't, because history says otherwise. They start with the violent criminals, and then suddenly, the definition of criminal starts getting real flexible. First, it's gang members. Then it's protesters. Then it's whoever they decide is a problem. Y'all paying attention?
Keeping it 100. It's Real Talk. On WRTR, Real Talk Radio. We keep it real.
Earlier this week, one of my friends passed away. Actually, he's a friend of a friend, but became friends with me over the years. And it got me to thinking a little bit existentially about what it all means at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're seeing so much stuff coming out about history. People have been on their knees for 400 plus odd years praying for change instead of actually making change. And it just got me into a mindset of what it all means after you leave here and the correct way, so, and that's air quotes, correct way to get into heaven. And I kind of think that my thought process was a little bit abstract, so I was thinking outside the box a little bit. And I kind of landed at the keys to heaven. What if, like here, and the just overall happiness? Because when you think about heaven and you think about the concept of heaven, the concept is this place of eternal happiness, of eternal rest, where you can just be happy. What if, in building our souls here on the planet, for the amount of, or how happy we are, how genuine we are, like how good we are, those are the keys that get us into heaven. Not necessarily, a religious act, but like when you think about the concept of heaven, it's described as a place of perfect happiness, surrounded by the people we love. But what if the key to entering this paradise is the emotion of joy? Like in this view, joy acts like kind of a ticket that we have to gather enough to gain access to that ultimate happiness. I know it's outside of the box, but it's something a little bit different. Like this idea helps explain why our lives on earth can often feel unbalanced. Like we experience moments here of joy that make us long for more. It's like never enough joy, but it often feels like we don't have enough joy to sustain it. So the amount of joy we can experience isn't solely based on our circumstances. It's also based on the choices we make in the situation we find ourselves in.
Fact.
Thought?
No, I agree. At the end of the day, although you cannot control what other people do around you, you can control what you do and how you react to things. And I say that to say this. Oftentimes, we're so quick to let other people ruin our day and disturb our peace when we're in charge of that ourselves. You have to not react to everything. Pick your battles, if you will. Because there are going to be times where, of course it's going to happen and you're not going to be in the best of moods. It's nothing anybody can do about that. It's life. We're human beings. However, there are some instances where a slight issue may arise, and some people may take that small, insignificant issue and let it ruin their entire day. And they'll constantly think about it, and you lose those peaceful, joyful, happy moments because you were focused on something so insignificant that you could have just overlooked and been like, that happened. I accept it. I'm going to go on about my day. No. At the end of the day, we need to be more responsible for our own happiness, our own joy, and stop leaving it on to other people. That's even in a relationship. Your mate is not supposed to be your core reason he or she doesn't have the responsibility of making you happy.
Correct.
you are responsible for being happy within that relationship. And I think a lot of people get this confused because they seek validation in another person instead of themselves.
Yep. I mean, we could pivot that into the same reason that people get kids and pets. Because you need validation. You need to feel power over somebody else. And that's I mean, same thing about happiness. I like that point. I look at myself and I look at all of the things that I've been through and just being happy, and so many of the things that I have allowed to not make me happy. And in a recent therapy session, kind of discovered, or actually over the years, honestly, but I've discovered that sometimes I won't allow myself happiness because I'm afraid of what's going to happen when it's snatched away. So I will sometimes purposefully avoid things that could make me happy because of the overwhelming thought that something bad is going to steal that happiness. I won't go to a party. I won't participate in X, Y, and Z because, of this fear or this worry that somehow it's going to be snatched away. And I think in a large chunk of my life, I've allowed those feelings to stop me from being happy. So that's where this kind of thought pivoted from, because I'm sitting here and I'm absorbing all of these bad things that are happening in the world instead of focusing on the really good things that are happening in spite of. I mean, yeah, it sucks right now with this asshat out here doing all of these things to us in this world. But at the same time, I got a lot of W's in the category too, both on a personal and, as a country, we do. But I don't know. I would like to think that living your life here unapologetically and happily will ultimately guarantee your entryway there. I think that's why we live in such a repressed world. You're taught to shun away from your emotions. You're taught to shun away from pleasureful things. And I'm not saying go out here and, sexy red it up. But no, don't do that. But I'm talking about just really doing the work to be happy and to give happiness to others. So I don't know. That's probably the most inspirational thing you'll see me or hear me say on the show.
No, it's not.
Because everything else sucks. No, I'm kidding. But
I'm in agreement. And on the flip side of what you said, also, people have to stop feeling like they're undeserving of happiness because they may have done stuff to somebody, or they done did this, or feeling guilty about being happy about anything. A lot of people suffer through that too. I know I used to just felt like, I was undeserving of being happy, and this was because this happened in a relationship and this is why I'm going through this, or this happened at a job and this is why I'm going through this. No.
Right. We're taught that everything happy has to come with some fucked up ass consequence. Why every time we got to smile, we got to frown 10 times harder. It's not the way that it is. No. I just, moving forward, I refuse to take that mentality with me. So I'm going to make cognitive and active changes into how I respond to things. That don't mean I'm going to be at every party. That don't mean I'm going to be sitting there, Taylor Swift twerking it up. But it also doesn't mean that I'm going to approach every, instance with doom and gloom either. So there you go.
I think that about covers it. I'm in agreement.
All righty. Well, then that wraps up another week here on WRTR Real Talk Radio. You feel good, Miss Lyric?
I do feel good.
I do.
I'm reading now. We have rehearsal all of a sudden in my band, but That's weird. Other than that, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
You got any new things coming up or down the pipe?
Yes. Actually, my band, a Level Up band, the Go-Go one, is going to be in Woodbridge, Virginia next weekend for Valentine's Day at Tandoori, I believe.
Oh shit! Next week is Valentine's Day.
It is.
Shut up.
We're going to be opening up for a wet band, so it's going to be interesting.
All right. Well, guess I got shopping to do this week. Damn it. Okay. Anyway, I mean, it is what it is. Miss Lyric, thank you as always. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you more.
Thank you. And we both appreciate each and every one of y'all for joining us here this week and every week. Well, at least until Trump snatches this away from us too. We'll holler at y'all next week. Well, maybe. I don't know. Shit. Maybe. Bye.
All right. Bye.
WRTR Real Talk Radio.
This week's show features work from TikTok creators Christina Talks Tea, Ashley the Baroness, Courier Newsroom, Marcel D. Williams, Papa Rudy, The Real Thomas For Real, The Conscious Lee, and Rep Presley. In a world consistently trying to silence us, we're using our platform to amplify your voices.